and welcome to the Talkies, where four filmmakers are talking about movies, and I'm Kenny. That is... Who are you? Go on.
I'm Devon. That was a very flamboyant intro.
I'm excited, okay? I'm happy to be here. Welcome to the Talkies. I'm Kenny. You are?
I'm D.
I'm Maddy.
I'm Taylor.
Yes. And like I said, four filmmakers talking about movies. And the movie in which that we are talking about today is Saltburn. Hot takes. Now,
all right, let's go.
If things feel awkward to our viewers, it's because we already did hot takes once. Before we had technical difficulties.
Okay, so
no.
On my hot take.
There's no need to explain.
So we're doing hot takes again. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead, D.
My hot take. I liked this. I didn't like the movie the first time I watched it. I liked it more the second time I watched it.
Weird.
My hot take, opposite.
All right. She hated the movie.
I liked it both times, but I liked it better the first time.
My hot take, by the end, I did not like it the first time, and by the end, I also did not like it the second time.
Yeah, I feel so weird about this movie because I in the end, I kind of was like, yeah, I didn't really like this movie, but also kind of in retrospect, I'm like, freaking awesome.
It feels better. Yes.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so why don't either of you like the movie?
So let me put it this way. So much of this movie is awesome from a filmmaker's perspective, especially.
Yeah.
Okay. There were multiple times during this film where I thought, if this wasn't shot beautifully and acted by incredible performers, it would be a shitty movie.
That's just a...
No. You'd say, oh, that's true of everything.
Yeah.
That isn't true of everything.
Okay.
Because there are excellent stories that have just semi-adequate visuals and semi-adequate performers.
Yeah. So there was a one part of this that you really didn't like. And that was
I'd say like the story is just kind of adequate.
What was wrong with the story?
Nothing necessarily wrong from the get-go.
Yeah.
Just kind of
It's
something. You know?
I think it commits a writing sin at the end.
Big time.
That in that sense that it kind of pulls a rabbit out of the hat out of nowhere. And it kind of like tricks the audience. It's like, oh, fooled you.
No, it didn't.
And they didn't need to.
It definitely tricked.
That was the thing that pissed me off because this, what I said in our first attempt at recording this episode is I wish there were smaller portions to break the movie down into than 3 acts.
Yeah.
Because if I look at the 3 acts, I say I like the first act, I like the second act, I like the third act. But the very end of the third act kind of fucked the whole movie for me. I already bought into the idea that this character was a damaged and flawed and manipulative outsider kind of weirdo. And I could have empathy with him still being that character.
Yeah.
Right? Like his actions made sense to me in the context of who he was.
And then they say,
even when you find out he lied about his parents and stuff like that.
I actually loved that twist.
Me too. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, that was enough. The twist already happened.
Yeah.
And then they kind of pulled this double twist at the end where they're like, he was an evil mastermind from the beginning. He planned all this out from the beginning. He popped the guy's tire so that he could help him with his bike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the M. Night Shyamalan bullshit is this?
I mean, he quite literally has a mustache twirling monologue.
Not literally, but yes.
He doesn't have an actual mustache. No. Yes, he does not literally twirl it.
Yeah, well, Elspeth has a thing about facial hair.
True, yeah. So that's why that couldn't happen. But if he had a mustache, he would have twirled it at that time. And, I don't necessarily mind. It's just the way it's all set up. I feel like it's less clues being left and more like I'm being lied to. Like,
Right.
like, oh, how silly of you. You would have never guessed that.
So yeah,
Of course, I wouldn't have never guessed it.
Well, that's part of the story. That's the whole theme is like, like it's playing on your empathy, because these wealthy people are suckered kind of by this.
Yeah.
Or
Where, like,
you're so real, you're so beautiful, you're so.
But my point is, we were already there. Like, the movie could have ended. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to know how Felix died. It would have been okay if I never found out.
this coming from the guy who was like, how did he die?
No, I know, but that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that would have been more badass to me.
okay.
If they left the movie without saying how Felix died, and instead it just ends, and he could have still ended up cementing himself with a permanent place at Saltburn with this wealthy family, right? Without having this big, I'm a supervillain twist, which just...
I don't think he's a supervillain.
Well, that's what the movie was saying.
I think it's playing on the whether or not he's a hero. Because I kind of, at the end of the day, I empathize more with him than with anybody else, even the people that died.
Well,
you know what I mean?
If he's a super villain, he would all have to be a superhero on the other end. I think he kind of achieves a logistical feat that is hard to believe.
Except for he plays the part of the poor, polite, long-suffering person so well that they all fall in love with it until even they all figure out he's bad. And at the moment that they turn against him is when he kills them, which makes me think it's not as planned as much as... I think that's why he's crying on the grave when he fucks it. Because he's like simultaneously kind of sorry that it's gotten to this, but also like proud of himself in that kind of a way, achievement in both
But
ways.
I
He killed
already
him.
bought him as a character who would fuck that grave crying.
So
That's my point. I already bought
yeah,
it.
I didn't. I bought into his character in the beginning when I first watched the movie, and I thought he was who he said he was, and I thought the same thing that you did about this character, and I had empathy for him. But at the very end, like when he started killing people, I was like, this is fucking, I don't understand. Where's his character going? This doesn't make any sense. The whole rest of the movie, the whole time where he's like, oh yeah, I lied about this and I lied about that. And yeah, I'm actually trying to kill this person. I'm going to kill this person. That whole second half of the movie didn't really make any sense to me until the end, until they said, oh yeah, actually from the beginning, he was a fucking psychopath. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense now. And to me, it was mainly just about that, about trying to connect with the movie, because I didn't have any way to connect with it before, because the theme didn't connect with me at all. If there was, I don't know what theme.
The class.
There was, I felt like there was class in here, but I didn't think that was the thing.
I feel too. Like, I don't feel like that's what I'm left with, is wondering what the movie was about.
So I would say I don't know what it's about. Yeah.
I keep thinking about like who's better if we're going to pit people on a side. It's kind of like who's in and who's not. And at the end of the day, it's these people that had the house didn't deserve it any more than the person. So it kind of makes me think
I like that.
it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, so Barry winning or whatever is
Oliver.
neither Oliver, not the
person.
actor. Yeah, Oliver.
No difference.
Yeah, well, no difference. Him winning is neither heroic nor villainous, just smart, like conniving, almost in the pure Slytherin kind of way, where it's like he played the game as the Moth character.
The movie seemed to suggest that it was villainous with the last scenes anyway.
With him celebrating in the rocks.
Yeah, and giving his soliloquy and pulling out the breathing tube on what's her name, and she, if anyone, had only been nice to him.
But she was also a
Sure.
dirtbag.
And so was Felix, but also Felix, it's really hard to point at where Felix was bad. Right? At the same time, Felix was mostly
He was pretty much
much a good person to Oliver, better
wears
than
angel
anyone
wings,
else had been.
It's true.
You
an
know?
angel. He's as good as he can be.
Right, and the movie ends with Oliver has horns and Felix has wings.
Yeah, he's
so read into that.
For me, I was thinking about Farley, the the really sassy dude.
Yeah.
Curly hair. So I like hated him in the beginning, right?
He's the most tragic almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hated him in the beginning, and I was just like, I hate this guy. I wish, Barry could, somehow deal with some sort of revenge or something. And he does. And then later on he comes back or whatever. And now knowing that, to say I'm calling him Barry too.
Oliver.
Now knowing that Oliver was the bad guy, it makes me look at Farley and I'm like, oh, he was like, he knew this the whole time, or he saw something in the guy, in Oliver, the entire
Farley and the chick that died, Amanda or Barbara, both could have been the villain in the end too, if they were as smart as he was.
Right.
But they lost
Right.
severely more. But they all ended up.
I wouldn't say Farley. Not to cut you off. I mean,
No, you're good. No.
I wouldn't say that Farley was trying to be all anti-rich. Mm-hmm. I don't think he was trying to fight against them at all.
No, he wanted to be a part and assimilate.
Right. I did feel that. I felt like he wanted to be a part of it.
Barry wanted or ended up with everything.
Yeah.
So where I felt betrayed is that I feel like the movie was telling the story of a person who, again, was kind of a damaged outsider who wanted to belong to someone, and even taking very unethical methods to belong, was still motivated by that thing. But by the end, that motivation disappeared. The motivation was almost just psychotic, like a psychopath. It shifted from my motivation is I want to belong because I'm an outsider to I'm a psychopath who wants power. And that happened with no notice in the last 8 minutes of the movie.
Which is why I think it works.
That's what pissed me off.
Yeah, which is why I think it works so well as a monster type of movie. Because
I think it frames itself as a character study of what Kenny was talking about, and then it pulls the rug out under you. When I think it could have been a much more compelling film that had more of a could have been about something deeper had it been more upfront with Oliver as a psychotic character. Maybe from the beginning, if we had a better idea of what he was going through. Even if
I almost feel like they came up with the
planning,
twist ending late in the writing of the film.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Like it almost like for some reason Joker comes to mind.
Interesting.
Where like that movie is kind of about something, him being psychotic.
I don't think of him as a psychopath though. I think of him as someone like.
What's he doing?
This concerns me, Maddie. Why do you say this?
Well, he's just.
What's he doing?
I think of him being the scholar at Oxford, and always I think of him as, in his own mind, such a victim that he's like, fuck it. I guess the only way, I'm belonging is like, I want to be you. Like, fuck you. I love you. I want to be you. You know what I mean? More than, and it's like, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter how smart I am or anything. The only way for me to kind of win, I'm not smarter. I'm not anything else. I gotta just sit it out.
Sounds a little bit like a psychopath to me.
I guess.
But then it's like, why did he have to go kill the entire family,
I think it started with Felix because he knew that
Felix found out the truth.
Felix found out the truth, so he was like,
kills him to get him out of the way.
That's how
even though he likes him.
Even though he likes him,
psychopath.
Maybe he is.
IMHO. Just saying.
So why? Like my thought is like, why then is this story a thing?
No, 100%. But that's how I felt when I first watched it. I watched it and I was just like, this. It doesn't feel like it has any right to be. What's it about at the end? And I can go that far to what you're talking about, where he's like he wants to be them so much that he just kind of digs his way in,
eats them from the inside out.
Yeah, and I like that idea. I like the theme there.
Well, that's what happens in Parasite.
Yeah,
Parasite tells the story that you're suggesting way better. Right,
it's a little different with Parasite
of the lower class basically eating from the inside, the upper class and taking over. but from a motivation of like, our family deserves this, and you guys have been stepping on us.
This is
and we deserve
entirely
this.
selfish.
And it fits. This doesn't seem to fit. If the ending credits just ran while he was crying and fucking the grave, I would have felt like this was a way better movie.
That wouldn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Well, I would have just felt I watched a character piece, a really well performed character piece. But it would have felt at least
so. What was his arc?
That the character stayed true to who I've been seeing in the whole movie.
Well, 100%. I would say that too. It would feel like it was true, but it wouldn't feel like it's about anything.
It wouldn't necessarily make it a great movie. I'm just saying I'd be happier than I am now.
I'm not.
The ending that I was given.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I can't go.
And
way.
I think what I hate the most about this movie is that we're talking about this instead of the fact that it was in one of the most beautifully shot films I have seen in a decade.
That's a good thing.
You know what I mean?
We've talked about how that's a good thing. If we focus on the mechanics of a movie being made, then that means it didn't grab us emotionally. And this one did.
Yeah, because when I say I didn't like the movie, I don't necessarily mean I didn't like the movie.
There must have been 30 or more times that one of us in the middle of the movie said out loud, holy shit, look at that shot.
Yeah.
How did they do that?
Yeah.
Where is this light coming from? What kind of light is that? You know what I mean? It was gorgeous.
It was tremendously shot.
It was gorgeous, well acted, and really well directed.
I was going to say the other half of that we opened with was if it wasn't shot and performed brilliantly, because every one of those characters in the film was also the character, I think. I love each of the characters. They all have a personality.
I can't think of a character that was poorly performed.
Well, so
well written. Like each of the character people, which makes me think it is kind of a character study as a movie itself. It's kind of almost like a Greek, we're supposed to just kind of walk away thinking of it as differently than a typical, you know what I mean?
Just a standard track.
Well, that's what I felt like we were experiencing.
I think my issue with the writing, it comes down to this idea that at the very end of your screenplay, you can't just pull things out of nowhere. Like it's sort of like it wouldn't have made a difference if all of a sudden at the end of Saltburn, it's like, oh, and actually Oliver was a robot the whole time. Like that's the vibe I get from it.
Okay, so what you're saying is that it didn't have an expectation.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Almost every surreal movie that we've watched, that's what I want from it, and I understand that there's a irony there, but surrealism, like I want to buy into the surrealism, but I need to be told to buy into it. So like, what was that movie that we watched? The David Lynch stuff.
Eraserhead?
Yeah, Eraserhead. Eraserhead told me from the beginning, you're gonna get into some crazy shit. And then we did, and I was like, wow, I was blown away. It was amazing. But then, like, the man who killed Don Quixote, like, treated the whole movie as if it was straight. And then at the very end, it was like, fucking, we're crazy now. And I didn't like that. So I understand what you're coming from. But to me, this takes, like, 2 viewings to like the movie.
Well, I've seen it twice.
Here's a question.
I mean, I want to say that I wouldn't say that it's I wouldn't say that it's breaking any ground. I wouldn't say that it's something that people should do often or anything like that. And I would never say you should need to watch a movie twice in order to make it good. But I'd say that this one made more sense on the second. Sorry, I would say that much. Yeah. Whether that's good or not is who knows.
No, I get it. The second, it was a different experience both times.
Yeah.
Not all films are that way.
No.
I was thinking of Ex Machina. A similar kind of thinking of in Ex Machina, I watched it, mind blown, not in a way that I didn't see it coming, but in a way that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they pulled it off. And also I'm kind of rooting for her, but I'm also terrified that she got out.
Yep.
I feel similarly about Barry's character, Oliver, and that I'm like, wow, he really pulled it off. And also like, should I be terrified or should I be rooting for him? And kind of similar, just thinking, God, if I had the lack of emotion and if I could care less, I guess anyone could really take advantage, quote unquote, of the niceness of wealth and kill them and win and take their shit. Right?
You're really into this theme of taking over the rich.
And that just seems like to be so. It just feels like it's involved.
It's definitely
because
involved,
and it must have been some kind of obsession with him, where maybe that's the part, is that he valued or wanted it so much more than the rest of us. For example, that he was willing to cross
to do
those
the
lines.
crazy stuff.
But that's kind of why I see him as a psychopath, because later it's revealed he didn't come from this crazy poverty situation where he had drug dealer parents and shit. Like he's in an upper middle class situation. Like he did not live with want,
and he knew
based on what we saw there.
No, his family loved him.
He's not motivated by eat the rich because we're being stomped on. You know
Not
what I
that
mean?
precisely, but he's definitely, he wants to be them.
He wants to be them, yes, but not
in like
not
a
this
school
story
shooter kind of way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think so. I see that. I think the thing that frustrates me is that the end of the movie was revealed in the way that twist endings are revealed. Right. And twist endings are great when they do one thing, and that is that a new piece of information is revealed that makes a whole bunch of other pieces of information that seem disjointed all of a sudden instantly fall into place. And you go, shit, whoa, I see the whole big picture.
So that happened to me, though.
But that did not
Me
happen
too.
in this movie.
It
me
did.
too. It totally did. The first time I watched it.
Fake. I'm like, that's bullshit.
So my thought, the first walking away was, I was conflicted at that thought, because until I saw that he was killing people, I did root for him. And then it was after that I was revealed that he was killing people to take their shit. Then I was like, oh, fuck. Rich people shouldn't give their shit away. You know what I mean? And then I was like, wait, no, I'm not rooting for the rich people. You know what I mean? Like, because that's kind of the whole movie up until that reveal is about that principle of the wealth versus the not wealth. Like,
Right.
why the fuck is Barry there or Oliver there all the time? What are you still doing here? They keep saying. Isn't it weird? Nobody's going to say, no, it's not weird. We want him. He needs to be here. None of them say shit like that. It's all that creepy pseudo speak when Felix fucking dies. It's like, are we going to do anything about this? We don't want your American feelings. You know, like, it's all about that idea. You know what I mean? So when when the audience is forced to rethink, like, oh, are you really more like Oliver? Because he killed them and takes, you know, like, or are you more rich? You're not more rich. You know, it forces the audience to question themselves on how, you know, like, do we ask for help from the rich? Not really. Do we deserve their shit if we're not asking them directly for it? Like, that's a really fascinating kind of play on, is he a hero? Is he a villain? Based on my audience perspective as not a very wealthy person. You know what I mean? The whole theme of the movie is baked in that kind of concept of, like, who's the good guy in a money deal when they're both trying to be friends, but really they're not the same.
I never felt like the rich people were ever the enemy at any point.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't just hate everything about them?
I hate them. Most definitely, I hate them. I hate them. But I never felt like they were the enemy. I always felt like it was a story about them that then Oliver comes in and fucks with them. And it's like, yeah, I mean, sure, from my perspective, that's pretty fun to see, you know, someone who I think probably deserves that kind of shit. Maybe not death, but yeah, deserves to be fucked with. But like, yeah, I never saw them as enemies per se.
I was far more interested in Oliver and what's the other guy? Felix. Their chemistry together, interacting.
That seemed to be what the movie was about to me.
Yeah.
Was about these two people from different worlds either trying to connect or avoiding connection.
Yeah.
Was when the movie was the most interesting.
So what were they attracted to in each other?
Yeah, that's what was most interesting.
Felix was loved. He was wealthy. He was pretty. He could get away with everything. He had everything that Oliver had, but without trying. Oliver was attracted to that. And I think on the flip side, Felix was attracted to this wounded puppy. Every summer he brings home one.
Right. He wanted to care for someone.
But and to be a savior.
And Oliver wanted to be cared for.
There's
Except
no
for he
resolution.
didn't want to be the one he wanted to dom. He wanted to be the top. In every one of the scenarios, sexually, he does end up, in some ways, assaulting and raping.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
And quite literally. And that's, so I feel like he's playing on their want.
There's no
You know what I mean?
resolution to that story, though.
Other than he ends up winning.
But like, what does that mean? Like, winning just by killing him?
This is the word psychotic again. Like, yeah, he gets what he wants.
I think
You know what I mean?
Was much more interested in just their relationship. I wanted to see him fuck.
There was definitely two movies here. There was definitely that first part where it was like
I
real
think that's
relationship.
where the real kind of, what do you call it, dissonance comes in with this movie.
Yeah, most definitely.
Is I don't think there was one clear vision the director had in what they wanted to say.
Right. So I wanted to say, what you were talking about directing, and you said it was well directed. I don't think it was well directed.
From that sense, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
When I say well directed, I mean if you break the movie into scene by scene, you see very strongly directed scenes.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Pieces on their own.
Yeah.
The different set pieces are immaculate.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, there was the one shot that I loved so much. It's one thing that who's the Japanese guy I'm talking about?
Of course.
Right, the Japanese guy.
No.
Clearly, you're talking about
Classic cinema.
Morimoto.
Akira Kurosawa?
Kurosawa, thank you. See, he knew what I was
that Japanese guy.
Yeah, that one of the most famous filmmakers of all time.
Anime.
Exactly.
Go on.
Anyway, Kurosawa always does animation within the frame where he pushes and pulls things back and forth within a 3D, mise-en-scene, that placement of everything in the frame. And I think it's really cool because not a whole lot of current directors do that. A lot of people rely too much on moving the camera with their subject. Not a lot of people have something still and then move the people
for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason. And it's because
move the people within the shot.
Right, exactly. And because back then they, literally couldn't move the camera much. Stay right here, we're gonna move the characters around. And Orson Welles did that a lot. And in this one, they did that in a lot of shots because the shots were so gorgeous. And there was this one that I loved so much where they were out in the quad area. Just after graduation, you were like, they graduated already? It was that part where he's got his ribbon on or whatever. And Farley comes in the same place that Felix goes out.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And they had this moment where Felix comes in and then goes off frame in the same direction that Farley came on.
Right.
That was so sick.
Yeah. Really great.
Yeah.
I love that. Anyway, directing sucked.
I mean, I like the movie for the most part, like 98% of it probably.
Yeah.
And then I'm just with Kenny. Just that one writing thing made the whole movie
doesn't work.
Make sense to me.
So I want to bring this up. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I would say that I am very interested to see whatever this director does next.
Yeah. Do you know who directed this?
Emerald something.
Oh, right. Emerald.
I don't know what she
Fennell.
and she did something else.
Did she?
Yeah.
She definitely got style. Got to give her that. It's a
There's-
strong, amazing aesthetic.
Yeah. The aesthetic is awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about homoeroticism in here, and another movie which I don't know if either of you've seen, Power of the Dog. No, shoot. Call Me by Your Name though. You
Sure.
seen?
Yeah.
Have all of us seen it? Oh,
A
you
lot of
haven't seen it?
similarities with this.
There are. Yeah, I felt
Kind
like
of
there
the
was some-
Greco-Roman beautiful boy that
100%.
fawning kind of thing.
Yeah. In Call Me by Your Name, there was some shots in there that to me were interesting detail shots, but I don't know if it's because I'm just because I'm straight or whatever. But when I look at it, I don't see sexy man, and I don't see guy who's like sweating because he really wants this guy's attention or something like that, because clearly there's shots in there that evoke that. I can't remember what movie it is per se, but there's one that I'm thinking of where there's a guy who's creeping in on a girl, and I don't know if I think the girl's just on her laptop or something, doing something completely just on her own, and the shot focuses on her feet, and her toes wiggle, and then it cuts back to the guy.
Oh,
And-
yeah. I know.
You know what I'm talking
I don't know the movie, but yeah.
So in that shot, I'm thinking about that shot, thinking about the relationship between the two, we have the Kuleshov effect of me going, oh wow, he's a creep, fucking looking at the girl, getting off and looking at her feet or whatever. And then we have this almost the same shot here in Saltburn, where what's his name, Oliver is looking through the door at what's his name, at Felix masturbating in the tub, and I don't feel. I mean, now that I've said it twice, it makes sense. I understand what's happening, but I didn't feel any eroticism from that moment. I wasn't like, oh, that's hot. I was thinking, he's fucking creepy.
Yeah,
Oliver's fucking creepy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I felt that almost all the time, and I'm not sure if it's just because Oliver's character is supposed to be creepy at all the time. Is that?
I don't know.
It?
I think so.
In that instance, I would definitely say that was a creepy moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hot moment.
Well, but
But
the guy
there
was
were
talking about-
shots when they were in college.
Yeah.
There were definitely shots that were framed in such a way that said Oliver wants to fuck Felix.
Weirdly, that also kind of played into my viewing of it too, because I was like hoping for them to be gay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think it played on that kind of like, God, Oliver's a master manipulator, but I also don't think he didn't love him in his weird.
No, I don't think Oliver's capable of love.
No,
Maybe
I
not.
would say he did love him.
In his own sociopathic, I want to be you kind of way.
No, the thing was, no, for me, it was now on the second viewing, my reinterpretation is that he started wanting to just like either be this guy or be with him or whatever, just because he's psychotic. But I think he ended up falling into his own trap kind of, and just falling in love with him. And I think that's the reason why they started out with him saying, I didn't love him, because obviously he did at some point. And I think the grave scene was the scene that made you go, oh yeah, fucking he did really love him in his own,
But he also really did something foul to his grave.
Yeah.
The motherfucker
you know what I
killed
mean?
him.
Killed him and then fucked his grave.
Yeah, he murdered him.
Well, yeah, but no,
And the same dude within days of each other, ate out homegirl on her period.
Yeah, but those were
jerked
calculated.
off. What's his name?
those were calculated though.
Right, but
No,
that's
no,
what I
rape-
mean. It's
yeah.
calculated, so what's not calculated?
No, but-
that's why I say he's a psychopath. I don't think he loves anyone.
No, I think he loved
I don't think
only
he's capable
Felix.
of love.
I think it was only Felix.
So how is he different from anyone else in the movie?
Oh, I don't know.
it's
I
maybe-
can't judge
he's
that
the
the
only
others
one who
aren't
murdered
capable of
everybody.
love.
That's kind of...
I honestly think the rich people are less guilty than Oliver is.
Isn't that... And that's kind of... I think that's the twist. You know what I mean?
And this movie sucks. I'm sorry. I just like the more I talk about
Are we
it,
down for pizza?
the more this movie bothers
I
me.
think this movie was dishonest.
Yeah.
I don't believe so, and I'm going to argue against you real
Okay.
quick.
I'm ready.
You were talking.
Let's fight.
You were talking about the there's no clues in the beginning. Now on the second watch, I think there was.
I was looking for him
Yeah.
on second watch because it bothered me after the first
No,
watch.
it definitely bothered me because the first watch.
I was looking for it. So what did you see?
So I saw anything that was out of character when he was talking to the mom, for example, and he goes, "Because you're so fucking beautiful." Where the fuck did that come from? Just this sudden confidence that's like crazy.
True.
Right. I would say that's definitely one part. I saw other moments like that. The one that I loved so much was when he was in.
Him.
What are you doing?
Well, this just bothers me because honestly, so those things that you're like, no, those were clues of what was actually happening.
Yeah.
I still maintain that if the big reveal at the end didn't happen, those things fit. They still fit.
I don't think they do.
Because it did to me, because what I just saw was the evolution of a character.
I didn't know because that
I didn't need any explanation for how he all of a sudden changed. It just went, oh, and so to me, the payoff was when we learned he lied about his parents. We're like, oh shit, he is kind of a manipulating sort of person, maybe even a psychopath. We already got there. That was my whole point.
You already got there.
We got there. I didn't need any more. And then they're like, oh, big surprise. He's a fucking even more psycho. And I'm just like, what the?
To me,
I hate this.
To me, it didn't connect. To me, those were so far apart. Like it didn't make like the first viewing. Like I said, it made no sense to me. Those first few parts where he was like completely different people at different times, where he ate out the sister, made no sense to me, because I'm like, no, you were like this meek little kind of weakling, and now you're just like Dom, that makes absolutely no sense to me.
The thing is also like,
You haven't met many
I
Doms.
felt the same way, but I don't feel like the reveal at the end makes it make more sense.
I definitely think it makes more sense.
I don't feel that way because I feel like if he was such a master manipulator, he wouldn't like eating out that girl on her period would be like a major slip up.
I think
Maybe it's
Causing so much drama.
No, I'd say.
He was lucky to be able to persuade his way out of it.
Wait, so why did he do it then? If he,
That's what I'm saying. If he was a master manipulator, he wouldn't have done it.
no, I think that was part of his plan. That was part of the calculation.
I don't
What did
think
it
killing them was his plan ever from the beginning. I think he was psychotic or psychopath, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I think he was trying his luck. Like same with the "you're so fucking beautiful" comment. I think that was him almost like, ballooning, testing it. Like,
Right. Well,
can I get in through you?
Yeah.
Can I get in through you?
That's
Like,
exactly what I felt. But that's what I felt like with the eating out part. But I thought that he was trying to somehow get as close as he could to her to see what would happen, basically.
Just to see. Because
Not just because I think he's trying
He
to.
could achieve what he could gain.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because he's literally trying to burrow himself into this family
through whatever means.
through whatever means, and that's
Was the story
I
that
thought
was already being told.
No, but-
They didn't need to fucking twist it.
And I have a thing with the character because I don't believe the character without him being psychotic, because it doesn't make any sense to me.
I already felt like he was psychotic before the twist.
Yeah.
The twist
Maybe you're just
turned
too smart for this movie.
and another
That's
thing,
true. That's true, but
I'm not.
Oh, you're not.
Trust me, I'm not. And another thing to bring up, the great M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
What I like about The Sixth Sense and how that twist worked, we've all seen it. You've seen The Sixth Sense, yeah.
good movie.
The twist is told directly to the audience up front without anyone knowing. You literally watch Bruce Willis die in that opening sequence. And there's pretty much no other way to look at it after you get the twist revealed. But the storytelling is so good that he kind of pulls one over on you because I guess it's like the confidence in how the movie progresses from that point on. Like, oh, he's alive, interacting with all this stuff, continuing on. I guess that was just a cold open of some sort. But the point is the twist is so clearly set up so that when it's revealed, it's not necessarily out of nowhere. And it's not pulled out of a hat. It was there in front of you the whole time. And I did not get that whatsoever from this film.
I'll say this.
And I watched it a second time with that in mind, and I still don't think it did nearly enough to set up and justify the twist that they put.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I would agree with that.
That's my opinion, completely subjective.
I agree with your opinion.
Thank you. Thank God.
Yeah.
No,
I would say that I had something good. Believe me, I had something good.
it was probably so good.
Bring it back. Bring it back. You can still do it.
It was I can't remember what you said now about about how good it was set up. I think twists of any type, whether they're good or bad, they're always set up from the beginning because
Reverse engineered, basically.
Yeah. Because even in this movie, I can't switch. I can't think and switch. Even in this movie, there were times where I was trying to project some of the intentions, that he had based upon my first viewing, right, onto my second viewing. And I acknowledge that. But any twist, whether it's good or bad, always recontextualizes the entire movie. And then if you watch it again, you're just like, oh, wow, yeah, I could see that and that and that and that. So, yeah, I can agree with you about there are some twists that are better projected than others. And I don't think, this is why I said that this movie is two movies, is because that first part really does feel like a character piece, even if it is a manipulative or, a weird ass character piece. And the second one does feel like kind of a revealing psychopathic play. But I don't think the twist was so hard on trying to make the whole movie about the twist. And that's kind of the reason why I'm not sure I like the movie too much, is because I don't know if it could decide to be one or the other. And that's kind of how we felt about the dream scenario, where it just kind of was like, as just some stuff at the end. And yeah, I think this one just kind of threw in this twist to make the audience more believable.
That's true. That's two movies in a row where it felt like the first 75% was a pretty solid movie.
Right.
And that's funny.
And got kind of fucked by the ending.
When we did Dream Scenario, Saltburn came up in my head. I was like, this is going to be similar when we get to it. That's why I've been looking forward to doing this episode.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to be a spicy episode.
Spicy episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oliver's hella neurospicy.
He's very neurospicy.
He's maybe
Neurotoxic?
yeah, I was gonna say beyond spicy.
Neuropoison?
Yeah, he's neuropoison. Neurotic.
Neurotic.
Speaking of flavors and food and whatnot.
Right, because that's what we were just talking about.
Right.
Well, we said spicy.
Oh, I see. We were talking about neurotoxin, and then you went,
Yeah.
speaking of flavors.
Yeah. You know, spicy food, pizza.
Pizza.
Wait, where are you going with this?
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
What if we wrapped up the episode today by, I don't know, comparing our experience with this film to a metaphorical pizza?
That's,
It's
what are
so
you suggesting?
novel.
Just what I said.
Would you like to go first?
Sure,
Maybe
happy to.
portray an example.
I
for
could
the rest
go
of us?
first. Absolutely. I'm
Please go
ready.
first.
I'm
Wow.
ready. So, if Saltburn were a pizza, I would describe it thus.
thusly. Thus, that's a weird word, isn't it?
Deal with
Thus,
it.
how many times have you said it?
Yeah.
I look forward to your
I've been
essay.
counting.
You're
counting.
quoting. You're quoting from when I loved the movie, and that makes my heart feel good. I'm like, I remember that part.
That was
I,
such a great movie
I
at
still
that time.
loved the movie at that
It
point.
hadn't
You know
been
what's funny?
ruined.
I actually had that same moment upon watching it the second time. I was like, oh, this was a good part.
Yeah. So imagine, you hear about a new pizza place in town, and you've just heard the hype. It's gonna be good. So you place an order. Okay, it's delivery.
Okay. Not DiGiorno.
Yep, it's delivery.
Okay.
Fucking real delivery.
Wow.
So the guy drives up to deliver, but you hear like hoofs in front of your house, and it's a horse-drawn carriage. Okay,
Damn.
and out comes this man in full I don't know, Elizabethan garb.
Oh, fancy dress.
Fancy dress. He's got a cravat on and all that kind of.
Whoa, cravat.
What?
He's got a fucking cravat.
What the fuck is that?
Look it up, you uncultured plebe.
Damn.
And he
Wrecked.
he comes to your front door and rings a bell in his hand, to summon you to come out. And you come out, and the pizza is in a fucking hand-carved wooden box that he gives you, and it's beautiful. It's got some gold inlay, Jesus, fleur de lis.
Quentin was his pizza.
Someone else gifted it to me. I don't know.
Congrats.
I don't pay my rent.
Congratulations.
Someone else does, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
All right. And so I get this beautiful box, and there's latches you open up, and then the pizza opens, and then there's the pizza, and it looks quite good. But only as you get, you don't even have to bite it before you notice that the sauce isn't sauce. It's just human blood. You can
blood.
smell iron in it. Like that metallic kind of blood, and you're just like, oh, and you're not going to eat this pizza.
That sounds disgusting.
And you're like, holy shit, that was really cool.
That's what I would have said.
Kind of
really
up
cool.
until that moment. You know what I mean? We were so close, but what the hell? Why did you choose that?
Why did you make this
know what I
pizza
mean?
with blood?
Why do that?
Okay.
And I really question whether they have a good answer as to why they did that, but they chose to do it, and I'm not going to eat it, and nor recommend it.
Wait, so this is not a pizza you eat?
I'm not going to eat it. No.
Okay.
Not only am I a vegan, I'm also against cannibalism.
What? Cannibalism.
Strongly.
Why?
There's very few strong opinions I have, but this is one of my. This is one of my always knows. This is one of my always knows is cannibalism.
Well, to each their own.
Yeah.
I understand. I respect that. For me personally, it's a personal choice. I don't eat human.
Sure. We get that. That's
Okay.
fine. That's
Thank you.
It's fine.
Thank
Just
you.
don't shove it down my throat.
I know,
Right.
but do you see me?
I
That's what
see
matters.
you. I hear
see
you.
me? Okay. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. All right. So that's my pizza, and I'm standing by it. Go.
Wow. Okay. To follow, I'm gonna say, not with blood, not with cannibalism or anything like that. I know I'm breaking boundaries here.
Okay.
It's a pizza. It's a pizza slice. It's a really, 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 really nice looking pizza slice that has toppings on one side. It's the front one. It's the front part of the pizza. The back part of the pizza has just sauce. The
So
front-
down at the point.
yeah. So at the point,
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
just the tip. Yes.
The first bite.
Yeah. The first bite is amazing, and then you eat it some more, and it's less amazing, but still amazing. And then you eat it more, and then you get to the sauce part, and it's kind of bitter. And you finish it, you're like, that's it. No, that's it. That's my
That
pizza.
sounds worse than mine. Sounds horrible.
It's not horrible.
No, that sounds horrible.
No, it sounds.
disgusting.
In fact, if
It's
you,
so frustrating.
in fact, if you know what the
Deeply
pizza is like
frustrating.
when you go into it, it's pretty enjoyable.
Okay.
Because you know what you
Okay.
expect.
Yeah. Go. It's your turn.
Okay, this pizza is salty and burned on the outside.
Play on the title.
And also, when you eat it, after you finish the pizza, someone else tells you that it was made of blood.
Oh,
Then
shit.
you've already eaten it, though.
This is already in your stomach.
And then that's the twist.
Oh, God.
Is that good?
I don't know. Is it?
It's up to you. That's really up
Probably.
to
It's
you.
really up to you. It depends on whether
up to
you're
you, then
rich
no.
or poor.
Rich people are like, hell yeah.
They're like, I don't care.
Blood of the
Yes. The poor people are like, who am I?
I taste labor.
I do. It's the salt and the burn.
All right.
For once, I have one ready to go.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. This
Ducky's history.
Saltburn is a pizza you go to a very fancy restaurant, and in the restaurant they have a wood fire oven for pizzas. You get your pizza, you order the hot honey margarita.
Oh.
Hot honey margarita.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
They do in-house mozzarella,
Whoa.
fresh
Whoa.
mozzarella.
This is sounding
Yeah.
really good.
It's delicious.
It is.
Damn.
Fresh Marzino tomatoes.
Marisano.
Don't even know,
Marzano,
don't even know what the
tomatoes,
fuck that is. I'm
and-
impressed.
Fancy as shit.
That is
and,
fancy clothes.
Yeah, it's great. And then
Fancy
they have they do their special in-house hot honey on top of it. It makes it like it's kind of spicy, sweet, delicious. And then it's served to you, and the waiter serves it to you, and you're like, thank you. So it looks delicious. I can't wait to eat this. And then the server says, our chef is working on a special dipping sauce for this pizza, and he would love for you to try it. And he says, and it's our bathwater aioli.
Oh god, I'm gonna puke, dude. That is nasty. Oh fuck.
Yeah. It's on the side. It's on the side.
Oh.
You eat the whole pizza.
Oh.
It's
Wow.
delicious the whole time. You're kind of looking at it and you're like, I don't know. I don't think so. But then you're like, you know what? If the chef special made it for me to test it out, the last bite of the pizza, the last bit of crust,
No!
you dip it in. And you try it, and it's just disgusting. It's soapy. It's nasty. It's creamy.
And now you have no
It's
more
so
pizza
good.
left to wash it down?
Exactly. You're just left with that.
God, Taylor.
That's it. Yeah.
That is the worst I've ever heard. Oh,
I don't think I've ever experienced like a pizza talkies
that was
where
the best pizza.
there was a punchline.
that is one of the legendaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
That goes down with some of the best
Yeah.
I've heard.
Can we do Golden Helmet Awards for pizzas?
Yes.
Wow.
That was really good. And it's so disgusting.
Absolutely
Like
foul.
I am seeing Felix's bathwater is scooped up and you're pouring
Oh no.
mayonnaise and
Oh no, worse. They plunged it out of the drain.
Pizza the whole time.
Fuck.
The whole time the saucer is just on the side. The pizza the whole time.
There's like a bubble every once in a while. Like,
your pizza rating on like what was it called? Rise of Skywalker was not as bad as that.
The pizza is fantastic all the way through,
Right.
Until that last bite where you dip it in the bathwater aioli, and then it's
And it was
The
supposed to be.
dipping
yeah.
It was actually meant to be enjoyed that way the entire time.
Oh shit! God, Taylor, I don't gag reflex easily.
I know.
And you tapped into something. I need therapy.
I know.
That your pizza rating requires therapy.
I know.
Just saying. D, can we add a trigger warning at the beginning of the episode, maybe?
Trigger warning, bathwater aioli. The aioli kills me.
Holy shit!
Oh.
Oh
Take us
God!
home, Kenny.
Anyway, you've been listening to the Talkies. Sorry.
That's what all of our. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, listen to the end of what was that? The mountain.
Holy Mountain.
Holy Mountain. Listen to the end of that one. Yeah.
That's
Well,
That still maybe one of the greatest pizza ratings of all time.
That is a top
an
5
experience.
Maddy.
Experience.
At
Yeah.
Holy Mountain. Damn.
Maybe we all have to experience our phases of trauma and just kind of purge.
Yeah, everyone has their
This was a
one-
purge.
their one perfect pizza rating. That might have been your one.
might be my.
I don't know if
It
it
might
can.
have peaked right now.
I'm never doing talking
I think
again.
you just climaxed.
I'm walking off.
Yeah.
It's climax.
Dear God, end this episode.
Hey, you've been listening to the Talkies from Karman Studios with Kenny, D, Maddie, and Taylor. And thank you for watching. Tune in next time. We're going to cover Dune 2. And
Part 2.
goodbye.